Now let's start on YouTube. Okay, hi, friend, hi friends. Don't remember which one I should use. Today we are doing this thing. Uh, I started this project. I guess like the first part is this. I started um, with this uh, showcase demo of like how does okay. Am I showing the wrong thing? Demos simple. Yeah. So this is where it starts. So I'm showing how to create kind of like pieces that are required for server components to work as just like .html file that you can open from your local file system. So there are like no servers, there are no bundlers, there are like just basic stuff that that is there to like to explain, hey, this is how you can create it. And while I was looking at it, I was like, okay, well, why do I create React Server components in JavaScript? It feels like if it's just JSON, what stops me from from creating it from Go or something? And this is how this project started. It's Go React Server components. I think I will change the name. I have like an idea for a name. I don't know which parts are going to be called what, so I will have like a better idea what is going on. Then I will change the name. Uh, but this is what I created, and I actually got somewhere. Uh, I also want to look into this to kind of like frameworks or I don't know, like templating languages. I did a bit of that on the previous stream, so I want to just look more into it. And I posted on Twitter about this, and people said to me, "Hey, there are like things like that." So I wanna look and pick kind of like best patterns to use it. So let's just start. So I forgot to hi. Oh, I guess yeah. So my OBS is broken. So in the screen here, you see the names, but you don't see the text. So I don't know where I'm going to fix when I'm going to fix that. Okay, so I think I close it. So GitHub, okay, go. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So have some unsaved changes, which I'm not sure what they are. Okay, it's nothing. So let's quickly just like how do you run it? You just run this command, and it starts it on a port 333. So now the idea is that I have I have like React running, right? So all of this stuff is React, and uh, this React is just like this inline thing. So if I if instead of returning the page, I will return I don't know like hello. Okay. Oh yeah, I can't use. I forgot. I can't use JSX. So it's JSX H1 hello world. Okay. So if I save it now, so this is client side React working. So and that my page stuff that's like SSR, not SSR I guess, but almost like SSR. Yeah, I should do like the I should do like Ben Holmes does, where he does like point redemptions and has to use NeoVim for like 5 minutes. That this is probably what I should go for. Anyway, so this is client side React, um, but if I go back to this, it's client-side React, which is like hydrated and like everything works. But the HTML for this page, it actually came from not from like JavaScript file, right? But it came from where is it? Okay, don't know how to do it. Yes, this way. Yeah. So all the data, right? So like Yaroslav, my book, all of it came from this JSON. So that so this happened on the server. So server returned HTML, and this is Go server components that are stored as JSON that I can kind of like rehydrate and make a client component out of it. Not client, but yeah, it's still server component, but it's because it like in order to hydrate it, you don't need to run JavaScript. You need to just like pass JSON, and that's why that's why React team calls it doesn't call it hydration, because hydration is rerunning the same code again. But what React server components are doing, they're just calling hydrate root, which is like a funny thing because it's calling hydrate root, but it's not hydrating. So it is kind of hydrating. It's just like the way to think about it is that instead of running code for your whole app, you're running code for a special app that was generated by server components. Oh, someone had to make an accounting. I made an account just to watch you. Make it worth it. So you can watch without account, and you can watch in YouTube and Twitch as well. So this gig thing is more of a clickbait thing, but I'm not going to. uh, yeah, I forgot. I need like 50 followers on Kick before their monetization kicks in. So yeah, every follower counts. Like a friend, yeah. So this is a parasocial channel, so everyone is a friend here. Yeah, everyone is a good friend. So just to show, like, the whole app is really simple, and the whole app is kind of like following this model, but like this one is even like more complicated, right? The idea is that you can render Go components to HTML strings, which like doesn't require React. Then you can render Go components to JSON instead of like JavaScript, and then you use React to render that JSON. So the thing that we're going to do now is we're going to write a router, and this is going to be cool and fun, and it's going to be progressively enhanced and stuff. So um, when I'm talking about the router, so let's figure out what that means. I think in then from uh, server components from scratch. Uh, I don't remember if he did a router or not. Navigate. Yeah, so he was working on the router. So we are going to uh, we are going to take his router. I guess since I was redoing his article uh, in Astro, I probably have that router as well. So I think it was for PGB Saskit. Not entirely sure. So branch was RSC something. Yeah, RSC from scratch. And now, yeah, so it's just one commit. And let's see if we have navigate there. Yeah, so we're just going to use that navigate thing. Uh, yeah, so add event listener. Yeah, so this this is going to be our thing. So interesting question that I have to solve is that right now I'm just inlining JavaScript kind of like here. It's easier to see what's happening when I write it this way, but I actually want to be able to just have like a file for JavaScript. And so let's solve that, I guess. So let's figure out how we can. It would be fun to find. It would be fun to find some kind of like patterns how to do ES build and all that stuff. So that I can add libraries and all that stuff. So like React right now, I'm getting it from CDN, which is not the worst thing, but it's not it's not going to fly super well in production. So it would be cool if that client router component I could write JSX and all of that stuff. But for that I need ES build. So I think we will start with the simplest possible way and then we will add complexity later. Okay, so, and the simplest possible way is that I think we had static handler somewhere. Yeah, serve file. Okay, so we're going to create the file. So it's called data. Data is not the greatest word, but let's keep it simple. Let's keep everything together. So we're going to call it client.js, which is going to hurt a bit because it's JS. I wonder if I can do JSX or something, but yeah, let's not go ahead of ourselves. So now, can I go and import stuff? So I wanna import React um, runtime, for example, right? So I wanna do this. I wanna do JSX. Um, so now, if I go to my page and if I go to client.js, it's for 4. So we go to routes and we just add a new route. Where is it? Yeah. So we're going to say that we have client.js. I guess it should be like a slash static or something like that, slash assets, and then it just shows everything. But again, I don't want to learn too much Go in this process. My main concern about this project is running React on server side without Node. Yes, so there are 3 ways I'm going to think about it. So um, first option is lol no. The second option is uh, wasm question mark, and the third is Dino node on etc. So the first option is the option that I'm going to start with is that every time I go to a client component, so I have like a header, a footer, and then there's just like a chat app, right? Like once I go to the chat app, instead of rendering, instead of SSRing it, I will just have fallback, kind of like suspense boundary, right? So like I will suspense on that place. I will show some kind of HTML that I can generate with Go. And then I say, hey, I'm not necessarily that. I'm just going to. Um, uh, so right now I don't have a client components. So everything is like use server, and I haven't added client components yet. So I could just say we are not going to SSR client components. And I think that's what Waku does. It just like, hey, here's the client component. It doesn't render it. So that's option number two, number one. So option number two is there are actually some kind of projects that I stumbled upon that you write kind of like Go in them, and then it compiles it to JavaScript. So I don't know if they do WASM or they just like when you create a state, it will just like create JavaScript that will create a state, all that stuff. So like I don't know how that works, but this is something that some people do, and that's like an option to do something like that. So sounds too complicated. Sounds like a why am I writing client components in Go? So I don't like that option too much. So the third option is, yeah, just use Node or Dino or whatever. So Dino is written in Go. I'm sure they have some kind of like embeddable thing API. So I will probably be able to, once I get to the client component, I just pass some kind of like option like, hey, SSR true, and I just call render to string or render to stream even, right? I can call it on that client component, and I not actually sure. I think you have to call render to string on the whole route for streaming to work. Okay, interesting. So I guess there's like 3.5 is that uh, ter as full page SSR for with uh, Dino, for example, right? And this one is like um, uh, SSR client component. So I can just like get this client component and just like render to string given that prop and that client like JavaScript file, and it will run. But it will probably not work with like all the like server context and all that stuff. So that could be like a fun way, but it's not going to be like too compatible with stuff. So so that like article about the RSC from scratch. So they do like they have like two ports. So like one port is doing server components rendering, and the other is doing SSR. So this is going to be like more like that. So you generate basically like a JSON from server rendering, and then you from server component rendering, and then you pass that to a server that generates HTML. And I wonder if you already rendered JSON, I wonder if that rendering is actually like pretty fast, and that's going to be like more compatible and more in line with like server component thinking. Okay. Uh, uh, maybe embed JS runtime and go. Yeah. So like 3 and 4, 3 and 3.5 is about embedding JavaScript runtime. So I think I heard about it. So like Dino embed embedded render React, something like that. No, no, that's not it. Dino embedded call JS. Okay, embedding Dino. Okay, so Dino creates for Rust. I forgot that you're written everything in Rust. Yeah, it started as a Go, now it's a Rust. One of which is Dino core. Dino is built on Dino core. Okay, I don't remember like how would that work, but and maybe it doesn't even have to be it doesn't even have to be embedded. Maybe it's fine to have some FFI or just like talk through HTTP. And we're not like near near there to figure that out. Okay. Um, I benchmarked Dino, Node, and Bon. Dino, Bon. Okay. TPS. I'm not sure what TPS is. Something per second. Okay, so HTML fragments versus JSON and bond. It returns HTML faster than JSON. Uh-huh. Yeah, Elixir reacts our components. Yeah, so of course you can do like any language. I just figured that Go is like easy to understand. Like, why would you use Go on the back end? So I figured I should try that. There is also like this project called Bod, which is doing something similar. So like your code starts at do you have examples? Basic. Okay, so you start Go, which is it? Okay, I'm confusion. Where does it start? Okay, so this is like installs the views vault controllers control. Okay, so you have okay. This is like not the best API that I would think about, but the idea is that you maybe I should open like a better example. Okay, there's surprisingly no Go code. How does that work? Run npm installed and run bot. But where does it start? Where does the component start? Yeah, this is silly. But yeah, the idea is that you can you can use Go as this thing of like, hey, I need to find the user. Okay, okay, this is definitely much simpler than I imagined it. Um, but you can use Go to do your kind of like data layer, and then you just like instead of get server side props running on the like server, like in Node, you do get server side props in Go, and then just like pass it to rendering. So I'm not sure how they do this. There's like passing. So how? Okay, transpiler. What does transpiler do? Yeah, I wonder if that's like salt stuff and router remote FS virtual transpiler. Yeah, I never looked too deep into that, so like I don't know. I don't know how any of that works, but where does it start? Okay, so it usually starts in package, I guess. Yeah, how do I know which package? Main Go. Okay, finally. Yeah, so we create new what? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what new refers to. This is not easy to see that. But uh, create context, and then we run with context and exit. Initialize CLI parse. Okay. I think I'm not going to get like how it works just from looking at the code without syntax highlighting and stuff. Yeah, sorry, I'm missing some messages. Yeah, so embedding Dino in Elixir. So we were doing um, we needed like a code that could log in to Google, and Google had so many like JavaScript things that needed to be run on the page to log in. So we were running like uh, I think like whatever like Monkey or whatever the what do you call it? GS engine that Firefox provides. So so we're doing So we're doing something like that. So which again, like I don't want to go to there yet. So let's start. So let's start with the lol no approach, and so I'm going. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to make my code look pretty. So that's a thing. ClientJS, and a content type is text JavaScript. Okay, so now if I go here, it's actually showing something. So now I want to go back to this, and where I do all of my import stuff, I will also import from import something from client.js, and uh, yeah, so our client.js works now. I'm surprised you're not all on HTMX. The more I use it, the more I'm. Yeah, so uh, here are my thoughts on HTMX. So when I started web development, this was a thing. So I started just a bit later. Like I still did a bit of that, but uh, if you go to like Wikipedia of like how to use Ajax with CGI bean component, this is the stuff, and like not a lot of people remember what CGI is, but this approach was like at the start of the all of this, and I have this thread uh, talks. I have this like huge thread uh, about like history of like how how putting application into your web page, kind of like the history of that, and yeah, it's a lot of history. There are things that happened, and there are like approaches that were happening. So like this HTMX way of thinking, it existed throughout the whole thing. So it like it never died. It was always a thing. So I'm glad that they're kind of like refamiliarizing people with it. But for me, it wasn't as eye-opening or surprising or whatnot. So I did a few videos about HTMX. I did a few demos with HTMX. I think it's fine. I think like people who are uh, I respect someone like Ryan Corniado, who's like, yeah, we've done that. It's like I don't want to like think about it. And I respect someone who or like Ryan Florence, who is like, yeah, I know all the ways that this approach doesn't work. So I kind of like yeah, I agree that this is a thing, but I also think that it's a it's approach that works for a lot of stuff, and of course something like live view is going to be kind of like more it's going to be more, how do I say it, so the way that I think about like HTMX and live view is that live view is more oriented on building apps where all the state is controlled on the server, and HTMX is more is more for building kind of like websites that have some interactivity. So there are like gradients and all of this. So you want to like know when to use one or the other. And I think what HTMX does better than live view, um, which I could be wrong, but it just feels like that because live view is fancier. You can do more stuff on live view. It's not as um, it's not as they don't have that much requirement to use kind of like JavaScript on the client. In HTMX, not as fancy, so it's kind of like it's easier for you to fall into like using some JavaScript on on the client. So I think integration with JavaScript on the client is a bit better in HTMX. So it's like you start without JavaScript. Then, if you need a bit interactivity, you want to do HTMX. If you need a lot of interactivity, you want to do live view. But maybe like at some amount of interactivity, you're better off with HTMX again. So yeah, it, it puts live view in a bit like funny position. But again, like a lot of people use all of this stuff and they're happy, and I'm not going to be stopping them from having fun. Yeah, I think HTMX is yeah, like I don't have use case for HTMX, but I see how that fixes kind of like things. I think where it gets silly is where people who don't know anything about JavaScript start talking about JavaScript, and they're like, "This is all the ways that like HTMX is better than React." It's like, yeah, it's like all the ways it is better for you, but you don't know. It's kind of like if a person would be in like a fancy cars forum and talking about like, oh, what's the point of fancy cars? Like I tried to connect my trailer to a fancy car and I couldn't do that, so I bought a tractor and I think tractor is better for everything. It's like you know too little stuff about fancy cars to talk for real with like fancy cars owners. So like all of us are going to just like smirk and ignore what you're saying. But of course, people who need to pull a trailer, it's like a much bigger market than people who care about like sports cars, right? So I don't know. It's that's probably the better thing I can say. I was senior Cold Fusion dev in 96. I'm using SvelteKit. I'm now doing SvelteKit and HTMX, and it feels right. Yeah. So I do a lot of Astro. So I have this project called B2B SaaS Kit, which is kind of like a framework, which is kind of like application framework on top of Astro. And I think Astro is really good fit for HTMX because you don't have to fight with it, right? So like in SvelteKit, you're like, oh, I guess I can do what is it? It's not pre-render, but SvelteKit um, pre-render preload. Is that preload? It's not preload. Pre-process. I forgot. There's like a thing that you uh pre there is a page option to turn off pre-render SSR. Yeah, CSR probably, yeah. Yeah. So you can do CSR false and you can turn off client side components in SvelteKit. But it's like for the whole page. So Astro is better because you can like, oh, like my whole page is without JavaScript, but like these two components require JavaScript, and it's like it's much kind of like fine grained thing. So like yeah, imagine if like every component could have CSR flag. Um, because I think CSR false is so useless, like no one uses it. So you have to ship like the whole Svelte kit, which is like I'm saying whole is like it's not that huge, but you will have like two routers at the same page. If you're using HTMX, you will have like two rendering on the same page. So it's like it's just not optimal. So that's why I think Svelte kit is not like not the best. So you can use Svelte with Astro. So like if you and it's going to be kind of like uh, more opt-in thing of like, oh, I want to do something for this page. Oh, I have some chats in the Twitch and I missed it. It was like 10 minutes ago. Sorry, I missed you guys. Hi. Yeah. Okay. So let's try to do the thing. So what we did so far is that we moved our JavaScript to this file. Like, not moved it yet, but I'm going to move it. So the idea is that I'm going to have JavaScript file, so I can have probably some types. No, it doesn't work with types. Oops. um, yeah, I wonder how I can do it with types, but we ignore that for now. So if I just copy this whole thing, the problem that we're going to face is that uh, I need to get this data from Go. So like I can't get it. So one way of doing that is uh, I can just like export a function. Export. Don't even know how to call it. Yeah. So let's say uh, yeah, render page. Okay, that's fine. So we do all of this stuff. So now this so we're going to call it uh, JSON data and uh, yeah, JS dot types. Yeah, it's not picking up what I'm going to do. Yeah, so it's argument, I guess. No, it doesn't know what's going on. Okay. Um, so and now, like this X is just JSON data, and uh, so now I can import render page from client and keep this, and I call render page X. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, something happened. So we have don't have components. Okay, so we still have. Oh yeah, DevTools don't work if you import it from CDN. Okay, sorry, I'm missing chat. Um, so I'm experimenting rendering Svelte components on Svelte Kit API routes, and it works well. Uh-huh. Then Svelte benchmarking its fragments in second. Yeah. So what do you do for benchmarking? Because I wanna once I'm doing this thing with Go, I want to have like a nice benchmark where I can say, hey, I made this page in next.js on Node, and I made it in Go server components, and the Go server components is 100 times faster, right? So that's like not a hard um, barrier to break. Maybe I can do I don't know, solid start or something like that, or Svelte kit. But well, like the Next.js, of course, is going to be like the easiest one, and it has server components. The other ones don't. Okay, so this is the thing. So we do have this small script, and it's going to import our this script, and it's going to pass us all the data that we need. So it's actually kind of like nice. It's actually like nice quality of life now. I don't have to edit this like inside of here without syntax highlighting all that stuff. I still can't use JSX. This is definitely a thing that I would solve with like ES build or something, right? So like I write client.ts, then I compile it, and I can use it. But okay, let's start easy. So now we're going to go to the router. So we're going to add this code. I don't know about typing system in Go, but okay. So when I say typing, so Go, in terms of Go, it's just a string, right? So it's just like, hey, get some JSON data. But I'm saying about when I call like here, right? I can click on it, but like this initial URL, I want to say that it's a string, right? And I know that you can do that in JS doc, something like this, right? Yeah, it's still any. So yeah, um, I don't know how JS docs are. Maybe I just need like a comment TS check or something. Okay, so it's still any here, and it's still any here. Okay, so yeah, it's not great. Anyway, so we're going to start with the router. So what does router do? So right now it just calls navigate function. Uh, so if I go here, I need to add a link. Okay, this is going to be hard because I didn't write children yet. Yeah. Okay. So how do I do that? How do I add children? Do I need to add children? Maybe I don't. Okay. Okay. I think I will. Wonder how I can do that. Okay. I haven't thought this through. um. Okay. 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 So I will go. Uh, I will do something a bit silly. So I will just switch to client side routing for now because I don't wanna do the hard parts yet. So oh yeah, and I don't have like a hot reloading and all that stuff. So which is not that great. So when you make something React or components, you need code anything for it to go. Okay, let me try to figure out. When you make something React or components, do you need to code anything for it to go to the Go side? Okay, so this is not the way I'm doing it. So I could write, I could just take like next.js application and run it in Go. I'm not doing that. I'm writing a special like Go application, and parts that I'm writing in Go, they render to strings or to like HTML, and they render to React Server Components format so that client side React can pick it up. I haven't like written all of this yet, but that's the plan going forward. So this is the code that you write right now. So like my page is a component that has a div, and uh, inside that div, it has like another div, and inside that div, I have I have some like text that is generated on the Go side. So like I can't call this whatever that request ID thing anywhere else except for Go. So static site comes from server in HTML and the other in JS and will be rendered. Okay, so static is a funny word here because it's like when you refresh it, it's like it's a new page every time, right? So it's like it's not static in a sense that like it doesn't change. It every request basically generates like a new React application, and that yeah, and that application will have some dynamic data. But as far as React is concerned, it just gets like, hey, you need to put this on the page as kind of like as a string. So React doesn't have to run React components to render it. It just gets the data that needed to be shown. Okay, so it looks like I have some kind of it looks like I have some kind of props, but I don't know how that. Yeah. So I just do props children here. So like I don't do it recursively yet. So that's why I'm not going to do that in Go yet. So I'm going to do another JSX. It's going to be a link, and it's going to point to somewhere. So now if I click on this link, we're calling this navigate function, but I haven't implemented it yet. So that navigate function, um, yeah, I didn't want to write all of this code inside of that text field. So that's why I switched to JavaScript. Okay, so it has a path name and it needs to fetch ClientJS. And uh, yeah, interesting. So if path name equals to client. Okay, I guess this is in case if I click on two links quickly, but I'm not sure why. Why is it written this way? Current path name equals path name. Yeah, where do you get current path name? Yeah, so it's like a global value that I have here, and yeah, if I navigate quickly, it will check that it's the right one. Okay, so it also has a root.render. So root is something that we get from, okay, and I call create root, not hydrate root. I don't know why, but let's ignore that part for now. I guess like yeah, like to do to do use hydrate. Okay, so interesting. So I guess like all of this has to be inside of render function. Uh, so now, so when this is root, and now I can root render client JSX. So I'm here. Oh yeah, we can open about now. So I'm here and I click on about, and fetch client JSX is not defined, which is right. Uh, so what does fetch client JSX do? Okay, some questions. Um, yeah, writing inside of strings is not fun. Just in terms of like syntax highlighting at least. Okay, so I have. So what is JSX thing is going to do? Oh, interesting. So it just adds a query parameter. I think the real one sends the header. So let's try to do the header route. Um, so header. So I get some like type completion, right? But it's like not all of it. So React. I guess I can just go to thing and just see what it sends. So I go to docs. Okay, docs are a new page. I go to pricing. Okay, so where is the pricing? Okay, I don't see the pricing. Yeah, let me. Okay, event terms of service. Okay, so confused. Okay, here it is. Why is it called terms of service? Okay, so request headers. So it sends a path. So it sends info terms of service. And the URL is info terms of service. Okay. Next router prefetch. Next router state. Next router URL. Okay, so this is the URL that I'm going to. And RSC1. Okay. So this is the header. The header is RSC RSC1. Okay, so now we await for text. We parse it with our special parser that we don't have yet, and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm here, clicking on about. I'm requesting this page, and uh, I'm sending RSC1. Interesting that I spelled it as like capital letters, but it sounded as this. Yeah, headers don't have a case, so I don't know if that's like just how how Chrome decided to treat it, or yeah. Anyway, so we have this, and so now when in our router, uh, it's going to be about RSC handler. So in our RSC handler, we want to read from request. So right now we are reading this. So query, parse query. Oh, interesting that they can just like go to go source code. Okay. So go returns values, and I can get. Okay. So if I do. Okay, if I do. So I need, on request, I need to find a header. Header contains the request headers, and I can get RSC header. And okay, how do I console log it? Don't remember. Formed, yeah, something like that. So okay, so I can just go to this request and I can just copy it as fetch. And if I do it here, it will do it again. So, and I'm getting 1. Interesting. What if I do RSC? Okay, so it's running. The 1. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's like it's case insensitive, but I know now that I have this thing, and I guess let me await. No. Hmm. Okay, so let me fetch, and I just like look at it, right? So it returns the same information right now. So which is fine, uh, but it's going to have like a new thing. So okay, so yeah, where we're returning our template right now, this is what it's doing right now, and I need, like, I don't need HTML string anymore, but I need JSON data. So what I could be doing, um, does Go have something like string literal? Okay, so it has like this. I don't know if you're asking about this. Okay, where's cute return? Okay, so this is where it writes. So if I'm here, so I get RC, and if RC is 1, I want to send. Yeah, I wonder what the header content type is. Text. Oh, what happened? Yeah, so let's say that it's text X component, and and that's like the cache headers, I think. Match path, miss. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. We don't need all of this stuff, but we need the content type. So we have content type, and we also want to write. We also want to execute the template, but maybe we don't. So we already have JSON data, which is we can turn it into string. So can I write JSON data? Yeah, and return null. Think that's the interesting that it removed the braces. Okay, so let's go back here and let's do it. Okay, so it's 1, and the network tab return JSON. Okay, so the problem with JSON is that like the RSC format is actually streaming, so you can return like multiple things at the same time, and it will like start working on the first one before the second one streamed, all that stuff. We are not doing any of that stuff, but we're doing this. So when I send my response, and I can console log it. So I'm here, and I got my response. So instead of parsing it, so what are we doing with it right now? Yeah, we have this thing that can turn JSX data, that can turn JSON data into thing. Right, so now it's called parse JSX. We don't need to parse JSX, to be honest, but we need to turn JSON into JSX. Okay. Let me just create a function then. So the function is going to be JSON to JSX. So it takes okay, so it takes X, and it does this, and that's it. So here we can just say JSON to JSX, JSON data, and we don't need the console log anymore. And so here where we're fetching it, we don't do JSON parse. I guess we do JSON parse. Yeah, we JSON parse it first, and then we call JSON to JSX on the result of the parse. And this fetch client will now return blah blah blah, and it can render. So the problem is that we don't want to actually render. I mean, it's not going to be too big of a problem, but okay, so we do this, do about. So we just made our first ever navigation using Go React Server components. So we're on this page. So this page was like okay, like 18. So now we click on this link and we go to 20. So I need to turn this off, and I will just um, I will just export the window RSC nav equals navigate. So I'm on this page, and I do RSC nav to slash about, and I got the I got the new data, right? So I can go back now. And for each request that we did, for each navigation that we did, we got the new data. And if I go back, it actually doesn't go back to the cached version. It navigates to that URL and gets that data. So uh, now I'm doing okay. It's actually doing full page reload. That's interesting. Why does it do full page reload? Oh, it didn't push the state. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's not the navigate. Yeah, so the hmm, okay. Okay. So the navigate takes path name and it does this, I guess. Okay, so I'm here and I navigate to about. Okay, the URL haven't changed. Oh, that's because it's crashed. So if I do this, so it's about now, and if I go to slash again, it's this. If I go back, it's about. Okay, so now it's a client-side navigation when I click back and forth, and I'm actually getting new data from the server. Okay, this is going to be next big thing. Sure, yeah, exactly. Like I'm waiting for I don't know, like a Netflix to call me, right? They hate Netflix hates Netflix removed React. Where is it? Yeah, yeah. So Netflix removed removed React from their web page, so they're going to be like really happy to use this. Um, so so this is our thing. So what is wrong with it right now is that we actually created this client side router component that we don't use, which like we should use to make it cool. But what is missing right now is that uh, I want to like all of this stuff. I want to also add URL. Okay, so it shows me an error. Okay, so I'm yeah, so I'm using this in the wrong here. Okay, so this is slash, and this is about. This is slash, this is about. Okay, you see how fast it is? That's because it's Go. Okay, uh, okay, I'm amuse myself. Okay, let me let me figure out what we can do here. So we have a router. This router lives outside of so it's based on this article RSC from scratch, and um, there are like actually like a few things that you can do better. And yeah, but it's really fast as well. So can we measure that, by the way? So if I go to I was playing with some benchmarks. I think it's like WRT RK. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I need port 333. Okay. So it's doing 2K requests, not 2K requests. Okay, I'm not sure how to read this. I guess this is like each of them was doing that, and this is the amount of requests all of them did, and it was 16 megabytes. So now let's yeah. So for each of them, it printed out like yeah all of this stuff as well, right? Uh, yeah. So it's kind of like in dev mode in a sense. Yeah. So let me remove some of those like console logs. Uh, so which one should it be? So what's this? What is this actually like printing? Print. Okay, so it's printing. It's printing RSC. It's printing R, but it's printing JSON data as well. Okay, so it get rid of this, and we try it again. Okay, so now it's just the requests. So we made it do we made it do less work. So now it still does some stuff to the console. So it's 34,000 requests now. So how do I? Okay, I guess in the router, I wonder if they give some kind of like options here. No, it's not. Yeah, how do I? Interesting. So some of them are like 100, some of them are like one. uh, Max is for averages. Yeah. Okay. So now, how do I turn off this logging? So it looks like this is logs from uh, whatever thing that I'm using, cheat. So go cheat, turn off logs, logging. Okay. The logging middleware. Oh, hey, that was easy. Once I knew what I was looking for, that was easy. Okay, so now without logs, okay, 46,000. So, and let's go to Dino Hello World API. Okay, so let's start Dino port 8,000. So it does a lot less work than our Go thing does, and it's 79,000. So now let's figure out uh, fresh run uh, Dino fresh run prod deploy the production. Okay. Okay. Deploy the production. Okay. I wonder if Dino doesn't have separate kind of like production and not production build. Um, so let's figure it out. Okay. Yeah, so we do start build preview check. Okay, so this is dev preview. Okay, so we do Dino task build. Yeah, it's funny to see that Dino is now using builds. They were they were like the chosen one. We're not doing builds. Okay, so now if I go to my thing and I run it on like a full application that does a lot of stuff, what is the difference? Okay, so here's the difference, right? So it's almost 50 times less. Okay, so now uh, it does more stuff, right? Because it does client components, all that stuff. Now let's go to routes, index.js, and we are going to, interesting. So the pass count, interesting. They created in server components. That's fun. Okay, so it's going to be just like one div basically built. Okay, this is so fast. Yeah, so it's going to be just like one div. So how is one div thing going to work out? So no client, no islands, no anything, right? Okay. So now let's check if I forgot to remove those things. I don't know if that's going to matter, but just in case. Okay, yeah, it's not going to matter. So this is probably like the equivalent of what we're doing right now. Does it do any logs? No, it doesn't. So it can do 16,000 requests just like for Hello World, and for more real scenario, it did 10,000. So 16,000, 10,000, and our thing, even with logs, was twice as fast. So this is what I want to do, right? So I want to make sure I want to like write a fresh app and like next app and uh, go React Server Components app that does something similar. Maybe like two pages. One is just like completely static, and the other is static with some client components, and just see kind of like the speed difference, all that stuff. So okay, what's this? I think I just opened the other one. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is Hello World. Yeah, and Dino Hello World managed to do uh, pretty good, right? So Dino, just like this socket stuff, was doing 80. So if I go to ClientJS, again, this is like, uh, oh, I probably closed it. Right. So if I'm just getting like the static file from Go, what what kind of like speed are we talking about? Yeah, Interesting. It's a bit slower because I'm reading from the file, I guess. Am I aiming for a specific number? No, I just want it to be like 10 times faster than Next.js, and that's going to be it, right? So like I don't think it's that important like for Hello World. It's more of a thing of like, hey, uh, I'm writing like a real backend, so I can do all of this stuff faster. So like database and all of the other stuff, and rendering hopefully is going to be like fast as well, right? Uh, okay, so like yeah, I just needed a number to have in my head. So like the numbers so far are 78,000. So just like uh, HTTP Hello World, uh, HTTP Hello World is 60 to 80 requests per second. Then we have then we have my reactor components, which are uh, 45k RPS. Then we had um, so what was the 30,000? Okay, something 30k, and then we had fresh hello world at 15k, and fresh with islands 10k, and then uh, yeah, I guess create next. Yeah, and then just do Bun X. Oh wow, they're going hard. I haven't seen that before. This is so cool. Okay. So it's already installed. Yeah, this is so fast. Wow. This is tweet worthy. So just casually add it on open sh, I think. Yeah. Uh, their docs, and it's incredibly fast. Okay. Uh, you have 1 hour to make edits. Yeah, I know. Never works. Okay, so we did this one thing, and so now that we finished with that, so bun run start, I guess. Bun run build first. By the way, it doesn't use bun when you do that. It switches to node pretty quickly. If you do bun dash dash bun, then it works. Okay, so and we have next.js, which is, I think it's like it's a static thing, but okay, 127.270 I should have done it the other way, but okay. Uh, yeah, and this is Node.js. Yeah, yeah. So as long as I keep it at like 30 requests per second, I'm fine. uh, yeah, I guess it sends more data, right? So let me yeah, let me edit this and yeah. So div hello. Okay, so okay, a lot of compilation just to show hello, but so built. Yeah, even though it's like it says hello, it's actually like I don't know, like a lot of a lot of where is it slash, right? So it's like 80 kilobytes of JavaScript, and the page itself is still like not zero. Um, okay, so start. Yeah. Okay, so now let's run it. Yeah, I was resizing my window, so maybe that got a bit of. I mean, yeah, I'm also like streaming all, doing all of that stuff. So yeah, no, as I was thinking, I don't think it doesn't matter what exactly is on the page. Yeah. Uh, and I guess like yeah. So what is on the page, right? So we wrote hello, but we got this. So it still did something for. Um, I guess we need to edit the layout. So remove all of this. We can keep meta, I guess. Children. Okay. So build. Cannot find the data. Okay. Build. Okay. Start. And the curl. Yeah, it's still a lot of stuff, right? Oops. Yeah, it's still a lot of stuff, and I don't know how to kind of like get rid of it, right? So yeah, so it's Hello World is going to be a bit better. It can't get much better than 4K, I'm assuming. Yeah, so as long as I'm doing 30, 40K, it should be fine. I don't know where to put this. Okay, so I don't know how much time I have. Okay, so let's figure this out. So the issue that we have right now is our router. Uh, it works, but I have to like call it in the CLI, right? It's not the best experience. So the other thing is, yeah, I'm doing this like client router thing now. I guess I will just turn it off for a second, and I will keep it as like page first, and then we update it to a new page, which I'm going to change. So we don't have client components now, but the idea is to start. Okay, so I can turn on logging back now because we're not doing checks anymore. So okay, so the what we want to do is what is this other? Okay, not sure what that is. Um, yeah, so move JS to client JS, add uh, uh, RSC uh, function to test browser. Okay. Um, yeah, that's my messenger pinging. Not sure how I can make it not to do that. Okay, okay. So yeah, so let's quickly uh, try to add like real uh, what is it? Real. Don't like how long those strings are. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to handle that. Let's add real templating so that I can create more stuff. So yeah, I was going to look at those things. The main idea is that you want you want to have like a bit like nicer syntax, right? In terms of like what is happening. You want to have like a raw values. You want to have like h1 and all that stuff. Um, I don't know how they do that. I'm guessing they auto generate just code for that. So maybe like this approach. Where is it? Uh, hmm, where is it? Maybe I'm thinking about something else. A dev. Hmm. Maybe it wasn't Kyoto. Kyoto action. What is Kyoto then? Okay, there was some other one. Vanilla templating. Okay, so it's the different one. So there was another one that had basically kind of like hyper script, hyperscript function. Yeah, so it was using like this syntax, which I think like a lot of people kind of like used to. So it's not like a bad syntax. Um, yeah. So I was thinking about something like that. Uh, which is it's just like a syntax. So in the end, it will create some kind of like structure anyway. So I don't have to solve it right now as long as I just know what what the format is, I guess. Yeah. So HHH. Yeah, there are a lot of those like hyperscript things. So hyper app, is that the one that I'm thinking about? Yeah. Yes, it's actually interesting to see. So if I import hyper app and if I just do so why do you need text? What does text do? Yeah, if I just do like console log um, yeah, something like that. And let's just see what it looks like. Okay. And yeah, so it's tag type and tag interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Uh, wasn't expecting text to work like that, but I guess it makes sense. And yeah, so the other one is what if I have a function, right? So I have a function that returns this, and I have an age of x. Okay, class undefined. Okay, not sure. Hmm. Does it not have that? How do you create functions? Okay, should return an object. Maybe. Do you have examples? Not really. Packages. Okay, try here. Okay, where's JavaScript? Hey, where's JavaScript? Okay, so app you to do, yeah, all of them end in nodes, but okay. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know how to. I don't know like a good way of thinking about it. In terms of like the names, because like React has its own one. This one is going to have its own one, right? So if I do JSX H1, where's JSX? Yeah, so it's like type of key props ref type. And here, so key is the same, node is different, props is the same, tag is different, type is different. Yeah, so I guess I will keep it closer to React. So we have to have type of, we have to have key props. Yeah, so this is type. I'm combining, I guess, like tag and type and creating tag type. Um, so the other ones we don't care. So I guess we are missing key, and I don't know what the type of props should be. This is where I should learn a bit of how a bit of how uh, Go types work, because if I'm doing anything, props are could probably be anything. So I wonder if children should be like a separate thing. So if I have children here, uh, uh, so just X, yeah, something like this. So key is wrong. Props is wrong. Okay. I think I'm using JSX wrong. Where's the shit? JSX tag props. Yeah. So this one should be. Okay, so props is children and all that stuff. And if I have not just children but something else, it's something else with children. Okay, but they don't do anything special for children in React, which I think they said that they want to change that at some point. So we might do something with children. So what Hyperscript does about children? So it's tag props, I guess. Tags, props, and children. So children is a separate one. And in JSX, the key is a separate one, which is a fun way of thinking about it. Okay. Okay, I have to finish all of this stuff. I don't know. I don't know how. So the problematic part that is happening right now is like this. So I'm turning this div into this string, and I just like I haven't looked into how to do that properly. And yeah, so JSON parts are working fine. Okay, so can I move this stuff around a bit? So I have a div that has ID and children. So and that children is 1, 2, 3 now, right? So if I do this and I go there, it's 1, 2, 3. So I want to make a yeah, child is component, tag type is a, and props are all of this stuff. And let's say that href is about, and children is this text. Okay, so I want to close props. I want to close child. Okay, so now instead of 1 to 3, I want to do child. Okay, so I see some syntax stuff. This? No. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure. Yes, I think I'm not doing syntax right. So missing. Okay, so if I add a comma here, still doesn't work. Missing comma here. Okay. Okay, I think it works now. Yeah. So it doesn't know when we're rendering this, it doesn't know how to turn this component uh, into a string, and I'm not sure what's the best way of doing that is. So when I was looking at some other options, yeah, I guess let's just go here. So we have components. So we have a render function. So HTML, add all that stuff like word. Okay, so it returns a node. So this is a node that it can return. It's go components. This one, I guess. Node. Yeah. So node can be rendered, and uh, when I call render a node, yeah. So is this one? L creates an element dom node with a node. See blah blah blah. Render child. Yeah. So this is kind of like this is the recursive part that I need to do, right? So uh, when I call this execute stuff, so uh, I need to kind of like make a function out of this. So I need to make a function out of this, and I need to make sure like, hey, if you don't have children, this is how we are printing you out. If you, yeah, interesting that it's like how um, it's interesting how they do that in Go, right? Because it prints the opening tag, then it prints children, and then prints the closing tag. So it actually, I guess, will work with streaming and all that stuff. So if you're like printing stuff out and then you kind of like stuck here, like all of this stuff is already written. So yeah, it's just like a different way of kind of like different way of thinking about it, and it reminds me like PHP a bit with like OB Flash or whatever it was called. Flash, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this is going to be like our to do. Um, as I said in my tweet, where's my tweet? Uh, I don't work at Fogbender anymore. I haven't started my new job, so I'm going to do. Hopefully, I'm going to do like more of this like fun stuff while I have time, and I'm still waiting for news of like Fogbender being open source. then then maybe I will do a bit of Fogbender on stream just to try to update it to Astro 3 or something like that. So that could be fun. And yeah, I think that's it. I have like a I have like a playlist with this thing. It's going to be a thing. as you as you saw, like I'm not moving at the fastest pace. I think I will be working on this project offline a bit, just because like I don't know, like so many things that need to be done. So I might be doing something offline for this, but yeah, it's 2 videos and playlist right now. It's going to be more, and yeah, uh, feel free to subscribe on YouTube's. I'm waiting for 1,000 subscribers. That's where they will let me use some of the YouTube features. And yeah, if you want to, you can follow me on Kick. I think I need like 50, just 50 followers for them to like enable stuff there. So it doesn't seem like too crazy of a number, but yeah. Thanks everyone, and yeah, thanks for hanging out in chat. We had like quite a few people. Okay, I don't have too many people on Twitch, so I'm not going to be rating, but yeah.